Hello saplings, I'm Kenny and welcome to Theme Class. So I hope you're excited because today we are going to learn about our next 3 senses. If you remember, we're learning about the 5 senses. There are ways that we can explore the world around us. Do you remember what they are? Well, so far we learned about sight and touch. What body part do we use to see? We use our eyes to see. And what body part do we usually use to touch? We use our hands and our fingers to touch. So today, we're going to learn about hearing, smell, and taste. Are you ready? I know I am. So let's go ahead and get started. Our first one is hearing. We use our ears to hear. Can you say, we use our ears to hear? Now, there are always so many sounds around us that we are listening to, even when we're not paying attention. Right now, you're listening to me talk about listening. But even if you sit very still and very quiet, you can probably hear something around you. Right now, I can hear the cars on the street. And now, I can hear the wind blowing the leaves. Why don't you try it? Let's sit quietly. And what can you hear? There's always something. But our ears are actually much bigger than you think they are. Here is what your whole ear looks like. The part of the ear we see is the outer ear, but there's also a middle ear and the inner ear. Just like your eyes, your ears tell your brain what it is you're listening to. So, we have lots of words that we use to describe what something sounds like. Now, these can be subjective words, just like what we learned about with touch and with sight, or they can be things like what kind of noise it is. So, for example, listen to this. That is very loud, right? It's a loud sound. We could say, it sounds so loud. But listen to this. That one is very quiet. It's a quiet sound. Can you make a loud sound? What about a quiet sound? We can also use words like good or bad or nice. So let's listen to this sound. Does this sound good? No, it doesn't sound nice. It's a bad sound. But actually, alarms and sirens are bad sounds on purpose. It's because they want people to either go somewhere to be safe or to make sure you get out of the way. For example, when you hear a siren on the street, maybe that means an ambulance is coming and they want to make sure that you can safely move to the side of the street so that they can quickly get to a person that needs help. So those sounds are loud and bad on purpose. But let's listen to this sound. Oh, this sounds very nice. And it makes me feel calm. That means this sounds peaceful. I love the sound of birds singing and the leaves moving. It's like what we can hear when we go to camp or when we go out to the park. This would be a very nice sound. So we can use words like that. Loud, quiet, big, small, bad, nice, pleasant, peaceful, to say what something sounds like. But just like we can use our touch to figure things out when we can't see, we can use our ears to figure out what's going on or what's around us when we can't see it either. I bet that when you're in your house and your mom calls you, even when you don't see her, you know it's your mom and not your dad because you know your mom's voice. So I want to share some voices of some animals and see, can you figure out what the animal is even though you can't see it? Are you ready? Okay. What's this animal? Let's listen one more time. What do you think? Okay, I'll tell you. It's a cow. Did you guess? Let's try another one. All right. What's this animal? Oh, I think this animal's cute. Should we listen one more time? All right, let's listen. Do you know what it is? I'll show. It's a pig. Isn't it cute? All right, how about another one? What animal is this? Ooh, that's a big noise. I think we all know this one, but let's listen one more time. What is it? Yes, it's a dog. Do you like dogs? I do. All right, let's listen to one more animal. This is an animal that I super love, but it might be a little bit tricky. Are you ready? Let's listen. Wow, that's so loud and high. It's a high noise. Do you know what it is? Let's listen again. Any idea? I'll tell you. It's a guinea pig. Do you know guinea pigs? I love them. Do you know one time I had 9 guinea pigs? Imagine how loud that was. You heard the sound. Now that 9 times. All right. So even when we can't see, we can use our ears to hear and see what's around us almost. All right. So let's move on to our next sense. Okay, so next we're going to talk about smell and taste. Well, why are we doing 2 at one time? That's because these 2 senses go great together. So first, what do we use to smell? Our noses. So let's say I can use my nose to smell. One more time. I can use my nose to smell. And what do we use to taste? Well, we use our mouths. And more specifically, our tongues. So let's say I can taste with my mouth. I can taste with my mouth. Or I can use my tongue to taste. I can use my tongue to taste. So, smelling and tasting go together because actually your nose and your tongue meet at the back of your throat. That's why sometimes when you smell something, it's almost like you can taste it because they work together. Have you ever had a cold and your nose was super stuffy and your food just didn't taste the same? It's because often the smell of something helps us figure out what it tastes like. That's also why a lot of the words we use for how something smells are the same words we use to say what something tastes like. So let's think, what kind of words can we use to describe what something smells like and what something tastes like? Well, let's think about something like a flower. This flower looks very beautiful, but I wonder what it would smell like. Well, again, we can use those subjective words and say, I think it probably smells good. Or maybe it smells sweet, or it smells fresh. Those could all be words we would use to describe what a flower smells like. Are we going to taste the flower? Probably not. So sometimes we don't use it for both. There are things that we smell that we're not going to taste. But what about this one? Ugh, look at all that trash. Right away, I feel this smells stinky. Or it smells bad. It smells rotten. Ugh, well, we're definitely not going to taste this. But let's think about some things that we do taste and what they taste like, and maybe even what they smell like. So, one flavor, or what something tastes like, is sour. This can be things like lemons or limes. They taste sour. Do you like them? I really like lemons and limes, but when you eat them, your face goes. But even when you smell them, they kind of smell sour too, even before you taste it. Another flavor we talk about is salty. Something that is salty, you might think of something like a pretzel or fish. These are things we usually cook with salt. Like this one here. Maybe you see mommy or daddy cooking and they add our salt to our food. That gives it more flavor. But if you're eating salt just by itself, ooh, it really makes you want some water. That's much too salty. Ugh. All right, but what's another flavor? How about spicy? I love spicy food. Spicy food often has things like peppers. Maybe you don't eat the pepper just like this, but have you ever seen a pepper sauce? Maybe one like this one. I love spicy food, so I often put the hot sauce on my food. Woo! Even just smelling it, you can tell that's spicy. All right. Also, we have bitter. Now, we don't eat that many bitter foods. For example, this is an orange, but just the peel. We don't often eat the peel, though it's sometimes used when cooking. And this is very bitter. That means it's kind of sharp, but not sour. Or, my favorite, coffee. Here, my coffee, it looks good, but it's very bitter. I think next time I'll add some sugar to this. But that brings me to another flavor, sweet. We love to taste sweet things, but one of my favorite things to eat that are sweet are fruit. But actually, some fruit, like lemons, are sour. So I want to see if we can figure out which fruit will be the sweetest and which one will be the most sour. So I have 3 fruits: watermelon, grapefruit, and pineapples. Now, these fruit are all very delicious, but some are more sweet and some are more sour. So which one do you think will be the most sweet, and which one do you think will be the most sour? If you have any of these fruits at home, you should try too. All right, here are my fruit. They're already been cut up. Which one should I try first? How about the pineapple? First, let's see, what does it smell like? Ooh, it smells delicious and kind of sweet. I'll try. Ooh, that was pretty sweet, but a little bit sour, but definitely delicious. All right, how about the grapefruit? Do you ever eat grapefruit? All right, let's see what the grapefruit tastes like. But first, let's smell. This one smells a little bit sour. I wonder how it'll taste. Whew. That was very, very sour, but also very, very good. So far, the pineapple is more sweet than the grapefruit. All right, so last, let's try the watermelon. Whoa, that smells very sweet and very fresh and delicious. Let's see. Wow, watermelon is very sweet. I think I know. The watermelon is the sweetest. Next is the pineapple, and the grapefruit is the most sour. You should try with whatever fruits you have at your house. Cut them up and taste them, and give them a smell first. See if you can range them from most sweet to most sour, or even other foods at your house. Maybe which one's the most salty, or if you're brave, the most spicy. Now that we've learned about all 5 of our senses, let's review them. Sight, touch, hearing, smell, taste. Okay, now I want to know, can we describe one thing using all 5 of our senses? I don't know. Some things we can, but not everything. Of course, there are things we're not going to put in our mouths and taste. But maybe sometimes something doesn't make a sound. But I want to give it a try. Let's try this carrot. All right, so right away, using sight, what does it look like? Well, it looks small, orange. Can you think of any other words? Maybe round. All right. Well, I'm touching it and it feels hard. Let's try smell next. It smells clean and a little sweet. What does it taste like? Delicious. And listen, it sounds loud. Okay, guys, we've learned all 5 of our senses. You should see if you can pick one thing and try to describe it using all of your senses too. Maybe you can tell me all the things you found. All right, guys, I'm so excited that we got to do this lesson together. See you!